Alright, so I'm coming off of the back end of a subathon right now, and I do not have anything planned for today's video. So I've decided why not look at the Borderlands 2 subreddit. Since I have not looked at it in a really long time, I figure there's probably a lot going on right now, especially with the new trailer that we were given at our, what is that, State of Play? The PlayStation thing? Uh, there's a lot of interesting stuff about it, but I will never cover it as well as somebody like Jolts will. So I will just defer you to looking at someone else covering it. I think it's interesting. The gore's a little too much. I'm sure we'll end up talking about it more today. So that's probably just a thing that will happen. But yeah, I'm just sorting by top of this week. We'll just kind of get a look into it. Shiver me timbers. All right. It's so ridiculous. Nice. The ragdoll actually like committing is like really surprising too. But like there are some ridiculous jumps in this game that enemies make. They will fly from across the continent to come meet you if they don't think there's any other way to do it. Like walking is not an option for them, they'll just jump. They do not care. If it's a melee mob, they'll just go for it. That's why Digi-Peak Farm works. That's why some enemies will just achieve orbit sometimes whenever they clip into each other while they're both jumping, and one of them will just get sent up into space instead. It's a really weird thing, but it's kind of neat that it is a thing. Borderlands 4 will have gore. Yes, there does appear to be quite a bit of gore, honestly. Like, probably a little bit too much. I think I didn't see a lot of visual pollution. There was that one action skill that was like a multi-elemental orb effect that shot forward and like decimated a BA Psycho, I think. But like this might be a little too much. Also, that's definitely a shield booster, I think. So maybe we're gonna have health vials and shield boosters for characters, which would be pretty neat as a pickup option. Hopefully they're not auto pickups if there is an on broken shield effect shield, because if it was auto pickup, that'd be really unfortunate for those. But I guess it would be nice for everybody else at the same time. And yeah, like it's just kind of probably a little too much blood, but it's fine. It's a little more BL1 in theme. I saw a shotgun that also looked very BL1 during the trailer. A lot of these guns are definitely just BL3. 99% sure this is just BL3's engine, but cleaned up, given a lot of cool movement stuff, honestly. I saw a double jump, I saw a grapple that you can cancel in the middle of it going, so that you can keep the momentum from it and then probably proc your double jump afterwards, which, like, that'd just be sick. I saw a lot of airborne attacking during the trailer. We have sliding, we have sprinting, which, like, I'd hope we have sprinting. There's mantling. So, like, we have a more fleshed out movement system. It almost makes me wish that we also had, like, wall running at this point, so that you could just go full Titanfall on dudes and just wall run and then jump, grapple, and then use your second jump to get over to a different wall or something like that. I know the speedrunners will have a heyday with it. I kind of hope there's still an option for blast jumping if it's like rocket jumping from BL2, or if it's even like stick jumping like you have in BL3 with the I don't know what the name of the weapon is. It's an Atlas launcher. People use it to just do base jumps real quick from one point to another. No real pogoing or wall climbing will happen with it, but just the occasional knockback thing would be super duper cool. And yeah, I guess from this post specifically, probably a little too much blood in some situations could get a little distracting. My infinity pistol that I made. This is super duper cool. This person did an incredible job. I am sure that they probably make multiple of these. This Spitfire person, hold on. Spitfire Workshop. Yep, an Infinity, Athena Shield and Sword. That's actually like, that's really, really cool. This person does really nice stuff. There it is again. Different communities, The Matrix, Metroid. This is sick. Yo, actually, super big props to this person. This person is really, really good at this stuff. So if you guys are interested in looking at stuff like this, definitely this user at Spitfire Workshop, take a look. Borderlands 4 coming September 23rd. Yep. There was a lot of speculation about when it was going to come out. I know that the community hunt was really worried that BL4 was going to come out like right around the time that the hunt was going to be planned for BL2 this year, so they wanted to do it early enough that they could get ahead of it, but also not too early as to not surprise everyone with that happening. And if anyone doesn't know, every single year, and sometimes 2 times a year, I'm not exactly sure, there is a community hunt that raises money for charity, typically something like St. Jude's. And it's just everyone gets onto the game, starts a new character, and then tries to farm out every single item in whatever game is the game at the time. Sometimes there are bounties, but mainly it's just people trying to raise money for charity. We keep track of like who finished it first, who finished it first on which class, who did it fastest, like in terms of like from starting of run to end of run, not necessarily like who got it done first time wise. Like, does this make sense? Like, if someone started on Monday and then stopped on Thursday, and they were the first person to do it in that span of time, like 4 days, we'd be like, cool. But if anyone on like day 5 did it in less playtime overall, we would also consider that to be a cool thing per class. So it's just a really neat thing to keep track of, and it also provides incentive for everyone to just keep playing for a couple days after, because there are bounties, people can save, like, raise money for the charity. It's a really nice event, and they do a really good job, like, running it every single year. So definitely the Borderlands Hunt, take a look into it if you've never seen it before somehow. It's a really cool thing. Literally the best villain ever. I would be biased to say that I like Jack the most out of all the villains from the Borderlands games, but I think it's a fair bias that a lot of people have. Borderlands 1 villains do the job of being like kind of generic evil bad guys in a wasteland environment where like capitalist company is the big bad. Uh, Jack does the exact same thing, but you can tell that he's just sitting in his office just goofing around with stuff and just like eating pretzels and just calling you like it was some boring little meeting he was having. And then you get to the pre-sequel. It exists. I didn't play it as much, so I can't really like speak on it too much in terms of theme, but there doesn't feel like there's a super big bad enemy. Zarpedon's there for half of it, and then for like the back third, the back whatever, you don't really have a specific threat. You're just kind of running down like, oh no, they're gonna pop the vault. And then BL3, you have the twins. They're annoying, and then they're annoying more, and then they're annoying more, and then it just keeps repeating that theme of like, hey, they're annoying, isn't that funny? Over and over and over again through several planets, some of which Eden 6 are a little bit too long, probably. And so it just feels like a drawn out joke that ends up making fun of the player more than the enemies themselves. So hopefully BL4 is pretty good, is all I'm gonna say. Made some fan art in a graphing calculator. How do you... What? You... Good job? I'm confused. Okay, so did they use calculations and then have them be in different colors to create all of the individual effects on this? How does this work? Is there a visualization tool with like little pictures you can use? I don't know how much of this is based off of the equations on the left side. I don't know enough about some graphing calculator technology and stuff to really know what this is. But it looks pretty good for being on a calculator, I would assume. How am I supposed to kill this thing? Ah, we are looking at Veracitus. Okay, so first off, a couple things. I hold on. It looks like they're using a herald, but also a shotgun. It also looks like it's a conference call based off of the pellets coming in from the sides. Also, they're level 72 with no XP in their bar, which, like, are they old patch or are they current patch? And also, how are they alive still with this much health at this point in the fight? I don't even... There's a lot of things going on here that confuse me. You kind of just have to shoot the boss, though, unfortunately. A really good thing to do is just to hard focus down Vora for his initial health bar, let Chief give him shield, You just stay alive while Vora has the shield. Chief will take the shield back eventually. That's typically when I would pop Chief with a Trespasser or an Amigo Sincero in my offhand, and then just shoot with a damage gun in my main hand. Or if you're Deputy Sal, vice versa. And then I would just hard focus Vora from there. You should have plenty of revives or kill skill procs available from all the midgets that should have spawned during that time. And then, yeah, I mean, just kind of play the game how you would. Maybe not use a B shield, although the alkaline is good for the fight since Vora applies a lot of corrosive, a lot, and also his arena constantly ticks for damage. So, like, probably not going to keep that up, but the alkaline is good. And then also, if you're playing Salvador where you're doing a deputy build, keep your damage gun in your left hand because you're going for probably money shots with a Jacob shotgun. And then if you're going for not a deputy build, probably put your damage gun in your right hand, since a lot of skills actually don't affect the offhand at all, and so it's more viable to put your damage in your main hand if you're not relying on mag size from main hand to look at the offhand for money shot stuff for deputy. Sal is a weird character. If you're going to bait people with legendary rarity on this item, I feel like the chest it unlocks should have better loot. It doesn't matter how many times I do this DLC, it still bugs me to see that orange and know it's just a tease. I don't have any problem with the Thresher bait being orange, it's just to help identify it for the sake of the player, so that they're not like, okay, I grabbed like 5 white baits, why can't I go fish this thing up? It's just a way for them to like signify which one's which, and like that's just all there is to it. It's not that deep of a system. They just needed color differentiation so that you could just have individual goals to go for, and it would make sense why you couldn't use one for all of them. That's just how it is. The typical build: Herald, Fastball, B Shield, Sheriff's Badge? I mean, yeah, I'm assuming this person, I don't know, Axton, Salvador, maybe both, maybe every character, honestly. Kind of just depends on how generic you want to run it. I hope nobody, well, I mean, I know a lot of people probably run this, but I hope a lot of people branch out from this. These are all good backup items and good, like, crutch items if you really just need to get rid of a guy. But there are some neat builds you can do in this game that don't revolve around any of this. And, like, I get it, they're cool, they're useful and stuff, but you'll find that there's just a lot of other nice items to try out. Also, these have been the meta for years, and they will be the meta for years, so branching out just gives that little bit of spice if you're a new player, and also an old player especially. So, maybe branch out a little bit. This pixel art's good, though. What is this? This looks like a mod with a mistake. Let's see. Oh, wow. Ooh, I can really see every individual grain on your screen. Thank you. Okay. 4 stat. It costs a lot of money, whatever this is. And it's Shock, and it's Jacobs, and it has a Gearbox logo thing. Well, it's a gear, so it's a collectible. Huh. I don't know if this is a mod or not. It must not be a mod, but also, like, there's totally, someone has to have joined their game and dropped this or something, because I don't understand how this could physically exist. This is weird. I'm not sure, honestly. I found Krieg's Meat Bicycle. Who makes... Actually, you know what? This is kind of funny. I respect it. I know what they were going for. This is probably, like, at least a woodworking shop, if not just a forge in general. So, like, haha, let's put all the funny saws and axe head and stuff like that and make a bicycle out of it because it'd be funny. This is kind of actually just cool, though. And looking at the background of all the cool stuff in the back, like, they have that whatever this picture is that I'm basically covering, so why am I looking at it? They have a bunch of extra wooden stuff. They have this antique thing right here. They have, like, furnaces and stuff in here. Like, it's all just cool stuff. Some people live very cool lives, I gotta be honest with you. I made Claptrap. That's cute. Good job. I wonder if they can put this on, like, a keychain or something, or if they're just gonna keep it at their desk. Either way, it's a cool thing. So, good job. Did I just get a perfect Norfleet? Oh, get like a perfect Norfleet? Okay, it depends who you ask. Matching grip. We've got fire rate from that. We've got, what does this give? Is that more fire rate? I always forget what exactly the stock tube accessory, or no, this is, I forget what the name of this accessory is. I personally like to just put a bunch of mag size on my Norfleets because I just multi-shot them. But like, that's probably really, really good. So, yeah. And also at the end of the day, a Norfleet's kind of just a Norfleet. If you can shoot it more than once, you're probably doing pretty fine for yourself. And even if you can only shoot it once, it's a Norfleet. So, good job. Also, wow to have the dedication to farm it. Unless you're using mods, I don't think so. This is definitely a PlayStation. But like, still, these Norfleets are going to do just fine. And good job on your RNG. This game will always be gas. Wait, Borderlands VR? Oh, this looks... Oh, that would mess me up, probably. That looks so disorienting. He did the tier 3 death race and he's freaking out. Me too, dude. Oh, okay, that's kind of funny. Man, yeah, no, I could not imagine playing Borderlands on VR. Although I think the first thing I'd try to do is double shot or multi-shot or something. See if you can rocket jump. It would probably be so disorienting. I bet they took away knockback in VR just to avoid disorientation like that. But there are a couple things that one might want to test with this. Is the grog nozzle meant to have such low stats on level 56 UVHM? How do I benefit from using it? Okay, so couple things. Yeah, no, you're not using the grog for damage. You are using it for the fact that it is permanently a slag weapon, so it can apply slag to debuff enemies. It has the highest lifesteal in the game, so you just hold it and you just live, usually in most situations, if you're dealing any amount of damage. And then also the drunk effect, which you can apply to other guns, which you can like apply to even itself just for the extra slag, rocket jumping, damage, like just the three things makes it a really, really OP utility item, and also it has a hidden crit stat. So holding it in your offhand or swapping to it for quick healing and it tagging an enemy in the crits will deal like way more crit damage. And then if your name is Salvador, you can hold a Grog and a Lady Fist. They multiply each other's crit, and it just becomes a lot really, really fast. So the crit, the slag, the healing, the drunk effect. Just all four things make it an incredible stat stick to just keep and swap to. That's why we use it. Alright. And now we're just looking at a lot of loot. What is this?
Let's turn up the heat!
That do be Captain Flint. Okay.
Oh, Spanker! I'm so sorry, Captain Flint, sir! Please, don't burn me again!
Okay, where's the glitch? We're running at him. Okay. Ooh, no, that was just Counter-Strike and backstab, and also he broke your Roid shield, so you had, like, you had so much going for you right there. So, frame by frame, he is slagged, he breaks the guy's shield and gives him Counter-Strike, and then the man just baps him, gets the backstab as well. That's just a lot of damage. That's just kind of how Zero can operate sometimes. So no, this was totally intended, not a glitch. That's just nice. Yeah, we're getting down to a lot of our legendary drops. So that'll pretty much do it for this. It's fun to just come back to the BL2 subreddit from time to time and just look at what people are doing. A lot of the time it's people arguing over the exact 5 topics, which like we try to avoid it because it's a lot of headache and a lot of people have a lot of misinformation for the game. We just hope that everyone can use Google to go on Loot Lemon to look at item stats and then understand that some of those item stats are inherently a little bit wrong because sometimes Loot Lemon doesn't even get stats right. I helped them correct, I think, a relic at one point because they had a really wrong relic stat at one point on one of their, I think it was a stockpile or something. Might have been Bandit Allegiance. I don't know what it was. But there's a lot of misinformation about BL2, even though it's such an old game. So kind of just take everything with a grain of sand, grain of salt, whatever it is, and just understand that that's just how the game is. You don't need to rely on Reddit too much. I know there's a lot of super weird, obscure stuff, and it's really hard to find information about it sometimes. But people on Reddit just will fight back and forth about who's right about the minor detail for 1,000 years, and it's really not worth getting into. I used to go on Reddit a lot more than I do now, and I'm probably better for not doing it, which, like, that's how it always is. But it's fun to look every once in a while. So, yeah, I'll do it. See you guys.